As we get everyone flowing and everyone's entering the room, please know that if you have any questions during the start of the presentation, of the dialogue, of the conversation, you can always drop any questions in the chat. I have a few support and admin team on the back end that's going to help me facilitate any questions, concerns, ideas that comes up during our conversation to this morning. So always feel free to drop any questions in the chat. I'm actually going to use that throughout our conversation today to make it more interactive. So I'm not going to be the only person talking. I'm also going to ask people to volunteer, to have dialogue, to pose a particular questions where I'm sure it's going to prompt those to ask questions in the chat box. So as people come in, good morning. I'm grateful that we are here. I have great joy the fact that I have the opportunity to share a great platform. I wanted to say thank you to my mentor, Shawnee Benson. I've known her since 2017. And just to give you a backdrop of who I am as those are walking in. So I am an educator, licensed educator. I'm also a graduate student at Alfred University, pursuing my master's in clinical mental health. So, and hopefully by 2025, because there's a 3,000 hour rule for licenships, I would be a licensed mental health clinician. However, my career path, I could say what I'm here in terms of just a three-dimensional way. I'm a teacher, educator, facilitator, high school dean, but from a holistic way, how I show up in spaces. I am an intuitive, empathic intuitive. I'm also a psycho-spiritualist in the sense that I recently got my certification in hypnotherapy because I too had to go through therapy, which as we start around 7:30, I will give a backdrop of why we're going to talk about the science of love, a journey through Hermetic Principles. But as my mentors once told me, you can't give directions or feedback or wisdom if you don't share your own experience. So before we dive deep into these Hermetic Principles, I'm going to share my journey of healing, my trauma, where I got into the mental health space, what allowed me to understand my gifts, how I'm able to show up in spaces today, my journey of 17 years of healing, which I still have a dope therapist, my path of understanding what PTSD. I'm from the South Bronx, one of the poorest congressional districts in the United States. I am number 3 out of 14 siblings. I have 9 sisters, 4 brothers. I have a dope mom, a best friend, a great healer that taught me a lot of what I'm going to talk about, but I have a new rendition, new maturity, new perspective that I'm going to share today. So just welcome everyone. Again, use the chat if you have any questions. I'm just here to share knowledge, to share understanding, and I'm going to stop until I intro.
Wake up, everybody. It's time to get up. Wake up, everybody. It's time to get up. Stay woke, stay woke, stay woke. It's time to get up. Stay woke, stay woke, stay woke. It's time to get up. We're healing, we're dealing, we're growing. Together, together, releasing. We're teaching, we're moving. Together, together, we're learning, discerning. We're striving. Together, together, we're leading, connecting, transforming. Together, together.
Right, and we're back, so we can get started, my brother Travis.
Okay, so good morning, everyone. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Just for those who just now coming back in, just Courtesy call. If you have any questions, if you have any ideas as we kind of have this dialogue, I have 2 admin support. So feel free to drop any questions, comments, concerns, ideas, revelations, downloads in the chat box. I'm going to be interactive. I'm not going to only talk. We're going to have a dialogue, but I do have an interactive conversation. I'm going to show visuals because I'm going to push the envelope of what the science of love. I'm going to give you a backdrop of what my understanding of the science of love through my journey of love. In a few months, I'm going to propose to my girlfriend, who I have a 10-month-year-old son. I'm a newly father, but also just to get perspective, I'm a licensed educator, teacher over 15 years. I'm in graduate school at Alfred University downstate. I just came back, which I met 2 dope professors, Dr. Serial, if you're watching, shout out to you, and Dr. Mancuso. So I'm in my journey right now to become a licensed clinical mental health therapist. However, I am an empath and intuitive counselor. I give reverence to my ancestors. I give reverence to the knowledge and understanding that was kind of given to me in terms from a spiritual perspective, which I would share. And then also I would kind of deep dive in terms of our conversation of how I led to the understanding of science of love, what my trauma was. I will talk about shadow work and share a resource throughout the conversation. And then as I'm giving these resources and I'm posing questions, please feel free to answer. I may ask you a survey question just to see the temperature, check the temperature of the audience. But again, this is going to be an interactive conversation, a dialogue. My only goal is to share a resource. My only goal is to provide understanding and skill, not to give advice, because I believe that we all have the ability to cherish our autonomy and to use tools in our own expression and our own divine expression. But then I just want to have a good time. Okay, so thank you on a Sunday. I hope this is my first and many opportunities to share knowledge. And I'm ready to just get into a deep dive. So when I had the opportunity, this is the first page, and I want to actually kind of like set the tone. As an educator, one thing I realized, relationships, you could just go back. You could just go back to the slide where it's the subconscious mind. Just go back to the very first page.
Got you, brother. I'm coming.
So what I'm going to preface, I may spend about 4 to 5 minutes, not just per slide, but just have a conversation, because I understand in the audience, we're all different type of learners. So we receive different stimuli differently. So there are some that may receive me auditorily. There's some that may need a visual. But one of the reasons why I wanted to start it with this image, and we probably see it floating around social media, in terms of my journey of healing and my understanding, my transparency, like Shawnee, which is my favorite mentor, she helped me understand this axiom that when we go through our path of journey of healing, it's okay to be transparent, because transparency is a form of healing. So if I can show people and model how I went through my journey to find love, how I went through my journey to understand my trauma, my crises, understanding my own diagnosis. I've been diagnosed with PTSD in 2014, my own mental health scare at the moment, because I dealt with a lot of death in my early years, which I kind of share. I will share in a timeline that basically propelled and was the catalyst for me to get into the mental health field. But just to preface, one of my great mentors and teachers, Brother Panic, will always say that our subconscious mind is affected. And for those who understand what our mind is, 95% of our mind is controlled by subconscious mind, right? So the very thing that we do when we tie our sneakers, when we can still get on a bicycle and still ride, or anything that we have done repetitiously, is all recorded in subconscious mind. The one thing I've realized, family, is that the subconscious mind don't know the difference between past, present, and future. So when I say 95% is controlled based on our actions and 5% is our conscious mind, which in simplicity is our 5 senses, is that people don't realize that the things that we have endured during our childhood, from the time that we were adolescents to the time we was in our mother's womb, to the time that we're up to 7, is that we are sponges. We are recording. Everything from a stimuli standpoint is being embedded into the child's subconscious mind, because if you look at dope science, which is something I'm going to recommend a little bit later, which is epigenetics, talks about the understanding that our cells respond to the environment that we are in. And like we understand where we come from doesn't mean that that's the place we're going to finish off. And me being from the South Bronx, I had this notion that I supposed to live a certain life. I understood masculinity from this perspective, but also growing up in a single family home, 9 sisters, 4 brothers, me being modeled what love is, what femininity is, what masculinity is, was distorted. And that's one of my journeys that I want to kind of share with this dialogue is that we all want love. And I had a conversation with a homegirl, which we worked at the same high school. And I used to tell her that, oftentimes when we go on dates, and it's so cliche in this Tinder world, app world, we do the basics. What's your likes and dislikes? They say, what is your favorite color? They may slip in and say, hey, do you have kids? How many kids? Are your baby daddy, baby mom? But no one really kind of specified their non-negotiables. No one really specified what they understand that they come into the table, because we all have baggage, right? We all have baggage. And if you could chat in the chat box, if you agree, we all have baggage. And one thing about baggage is that sometimes it may take time to unpack. Sometimes that baggage is not something that you can just say, I could throw away and I could just figure out. So when we are in the dating world and we start in relationships, I knew in my early phase, in my early years, what was programmed to me, what to be a man, what masculinity, what the science of love, that my environment was teaching me that the more women that I had around me validated my masculinity, the more women that I had on my belt. And I was told I can curse, but the more women I was able to sleep with validated my manhood because I had X amount of notches on my belt. So even the misrepresentation of what love is for me in my early years, and I'm going to kind of scaffold and bring you to the science, I got to give you where the antithesis and the antiquity and how everything started, is that even as a young man, right? Again, I prefaced earlier, number 3 out of 14, 9 sisters, 4 brothers. I grew up in a very strong, dope, matriarchal family. I have 4 aunts, 1 uncle. But my representation of what love and what it was modeled through my mom, which had many partners, and my mom's going to be listening, where she taught me this at an early age, is that oftentimes we tie in love based on a transactional standpoint. And she taught me this where, son, make sure you just burn out your desires. Make sure you kind of choose yourself, because sometimes we put this emphasis and expectation of love, but we don't really clearly define what love is. So when we go on dates, when we're looking for love, when we're trying to build our relationship with our spouse right now, I challenge you right now in the chat box. Have you ever asked this question to your wife, your fiance, to your husband, your boyfriend, your life partner? What are your non-negotiables? What is something that I need to be aware of so I can create this proper safe space to kind of help you show up in space? Because for me, I didn't have a great example what affection is. For me, as a young man, I didn't understand what the idea of creating a safe space for a woman and not abuse her vulnerability. So me being exposed to the understanding of what these non-negotiable is, it's like saying that I don't want no one to call me at 3 a.m. My non-negotiable is I'm going to be celibate, and in order for me to be intimate with you, you have to be willing to marry me and wait until I'm 33, or wait until I'm ready to give my my wound. So non-negotiable is something that deep down inside that you do not tolerate, and that you freely want to tell people like, look, this is what I'm looking for, but also this is what I'm struggling, that I'm working with. Because people have to understand healing is not something that is just a destination, it's a journey. So when I preface my journey and telling you about my background, is that even me, in order for me to be able to sit here and talk to you guys, I had to do the work for 17 years. I started at 17 because at the age of 12, I dealt with separation anxiety, crisis after crisis, right? So at 12, I witnessed my father with a drug raid with my sisters. So even that idea of affection for my masculine, consistent energy in my family, because again, I don't have consistent masculine energy or representation of what a man should be, because every time I got close to a male figure, they was taken away. So this is why, as a man, when I used to interface and deal with a woman, because I love women, right? And I'll talk about why I transitioned from monogamy to polyamory. But I understood, even from a man's perspective, I didn't know how to handle unconditional love or understand what reciprocity is when someone gives something and you have to understand to treat it with respect, because my dad didn't model it. He wasn't there. I have an older brother, but he had his own life. And then my mom, she's just a woman. So everything that I'm modeling, which I'm going to make a connection, mental health, when they say young men and young boys in high schools and middle schools and elementary schools are ADHD and have all these behavior disorders, what if I told you that the only thing that these young men and these little boys in these single family homes only was able to model the disposition what they seen with their mom? My dominant reaction to everything life experience was my mom's reaction to life. So I was always in my feminine, and I'm gonna break it down energetically because we do have both principles. I was always in my divine feminine and not in my divine masculine until I had to like come across a scenario, an event where I had to be forced into my masculine energy, which I'll talk about how I was a young kid in Crip Nation, Folk Nation, a group, 158 Grand Concourse, 40 deep. I'll explain that. But just the antithesis of why I didn't know how to express love, and I would explain with the audience how I break down the science of love, is that we cannot expect someone to understand our definition of our needs if we didn't clarify it with ourselves. So when the question from Kama Patad that asked what are your non-negotiables, how can we understand what are non-negotiables if we didn't clearly define what love means for us? And one thing that we have an issue with in this generation, and I'm 35, I'm considered a millennial, but even those in the baby boomers and our ancestors didn't understand what their definition of love because we was acting out of survival. And sometimes when you act out of survival, how can you really cherish what's in front of you or clearly define your needs if you acting out of survival? So sometimes you don't put too much emphasis of affection and love if you're acting out of survival. And I'm gonna talk about epigenetics. I'm gonna talk about just who we are as a people, but collectively, my journey to love, because it took me 75 tries, and my girlfriend Jennifer always laugh, but I'm being serious. Let me take a sip because she's gonna laugh. She hears me in the back. It took me 75 tries to find her. And I said that my understanding what love is that even my uncle didn't give me the best representation of what love is. He used to always tell me that the more women you have, validates your masculinity. And I'm sorry, uncle, I'm not gonna tell your name for privacy purposes, but I used to sit there, watch How to Be the Player with him nonstop. I used to watch these movies and he said, yeah, that's what a man is. So me being in a matriarchal family, understanding woman dynamics, yes, I'd even deem myself in my early years as a womanizer. And my definition of a womanizer is that understanding that when a woman show up in your safe in a space that you create, and if we take advantage of, that's womanizing. Yes, there's a definition of a sexual appropriation in terms of womanizing, but for me, being taught from my grandmother, from my mom, how to respect, how to receive, how to give, I took advantage of it because, again, I didn't have proper masculine energy in my life. Again, I didn't have an understanding what love is. My mom was separated from my dad. But again, I'm 14, right? It's 14 siblings. So 7 of us have different dads. So where's the proper representation of what love is? So for me, it took me 17 years to go through this journey of healing. And I said it took me 75 tries to find my fiance, soon to be wife, because I recognized that I was misusing what love is, what the representation of what love is. And I broke a lot of hearts. And I did, a lot of self-healing, during the pandemic as the world kind of like shifted and was at the standstill. I took it upon myself to call every ex-girlfriend and apologize because I don't want to be a walking contradiction. When you learn this knowledge of self and understanding, and when you're deep diving in the mental health field, and shout out to my professors, Mancuso, Dr. Serial, understanding the genogram, understanding past traumas and experiences, I can't just sit here in front of anyone and teach this if I didn't do the work myself, and I'm still doing the work. I have a therapist I see every Saturday and Sunday. So as we go to the next slide, I want to kind of specify something else, is that even me took me years to kind of go and unpack the trauma. And one of the things I realized when I went to this institution, because I'm not going to mention the name, but they're in 42nd Street, because until they answer my email, no brand promotion. One of the things I realized when I did hypnotherapy and what was embedded in my subconscious mind is that what was playing out is every time that I was getting close to a significant other or elder, something was ripped away. So when I told you that the first time I experienced my dad and he separated my mom, my first experience spending the night with him with my sisters, and they can tell you, it was a drug raid right there in Soundview Housing, right? And then throughout my years, my mom has so many others of siblings, we have child protective services always at our house. The fear of being taken away, the fear of being separated. So even my understanding what love and affection and this trusting people with they say, I love you, I will be consistent, I'll be mindful. even us men. And then when I tell my clients, when I interface with my homegirls and say, look, be patient with the men that you're dealing with, because some are not just transparent and vulnerable like me to tell you my story, my journey, because we've been told at a very early age, and for me, honestly, since 5, that I already had 2 strikes, that I'm a man, then I'm a Black man, right? But that man is an African-American man. But thirdly, the third strike for me was not a representation of what man is in relationships, because every relationship I witnessed right there on 15 Grand Concourse is every domestic violence case. Every time I walked out my home, it was a misrepresentation of the divine feminine, divine masculine. And so when I went through my journey and I went through my own phase in 2014, because again, crisis after crisis, I had to be separated every time I dealt with love. I had a high school sweetheart who took her life in 2010, right before I was about to graduate. Every person I love, I dealt with death all my life. A best friend of mine, I'm not gonna say his name, was shot in the back on Fulton Road, to learn that the very kid that I'm teaching, his family member association with a gang, I want to put any demographic, a certain gang on Fulton Road, hurt my, took every person that taught me how to fight and to be autonomous and be brave, right? So even my journey identifying and unpacking my trauma, I even had to tell my current girlfriend, soon to be fiance, Jennifer, and she can say this in the chat. I told her back in 2020 when I first met her, and I'm transparent, we met on Hinge, that I don't know if I can show up emotionally for you because I'm still unpacking. And maturity in terms of understanding what love is and we want certain things is that sometimes we have to clarify before we ask someone to clarify their needs for us. Meaning, make sure you validate things that you have to work on before we kind of like show up and say, hey, these are my things. I want you to be my husband, my wife. In other words, how my professor, Dr. Serial would say, is that we have this thing in the counseling world, we talk about transference. In relationships, we transference, we project. I went through a lot of trauma as a kid, so I projected on Jennifer all the time. Whenever she said she loved me and say, I'm proud of you, I dismissed it. I'm transferring, projecting. So just to bring in some voices in the audience, do anyone relate in terms of projection? Do anyone relate so far what I'm saying? Because I don't want to go deep dive. I want this to be an interactive experience, but does anyone have any questions?
What I'll do is there have been some comments in the chat. So I'll start there, and then anybody, if you have any questions, you can raise your hand. But I'm gonna
definitely stay on this slide too as well. I think I see Laura's hand and I see a young man, Adam. But
yeah.
So you could go in order, and then I want to stay on this slide because I have a feeling I may have to make the connection to this slide with the heart chakra.
Absolutely. All right. So Laura, if you can come off mute, Grand Rising sister.
Grand Rising, greetings everyone. Oh, thank you for this loaded conversation this morning. I resonate with you also, having traumatic experiences as a child and using sex to validate me, going through all of this stuff, not understanding what love was. And I love how you say that you call your women to apologize to them. And that hit me like I've done it on paper where I've written down the name of men that I've been with, filling my needs, just wanting to be nurtured. So
and it's okay to ask that, and not to cut your wisdom. It's okay to demand that, and this is why I want to share today. It's okay to demand that, and also I'm gonna teach you a ritual afterwards and know how to release that. Because sister, don't you know it's a lot of energy to hold a grudge? Don't you know it's a lot of energy to hold a grudge and to be angry at somebody? Don't you know that it's rooted in your root chakra and your sacral chakra? Because that's where most of our energy base and our disposition and where our needs are our survival. Because people misunderstood, it's not the heart chakra, because the heart chakra is where we intuitively understand our truth. So I respect your vulnerability and transparency. One thing I want to kind of like connect with you offline is that you could even do a simple ritual where you write those names and set it on fire, or you can write those names and release it in the ocean. because I too had to go through that phase, sister. Like I was mad at my dad, but then I realized he had a misunderstanding what love is because it was taught, it was generational. There was no blueprint or no dossier of how to be a father or mom. So when I used to teach my clients, and I still teach my students about what forgiveness is not letting someone off the hook. It's just acknowledging that they had limited resources or understanding what love and knowledge of self. And they only acted on a sum total of decision of what they were predestined based on what they was given. Right? Can I get an amen? Can I get an ashe?
Amen.
So
Hallelujah.
even me as a young man, like it would be a contradiction even to be here. Like I give all my credit to my mom because despite her being only a person that pushed all 14 of us out, I had a good understanding what reciprocity is, which I'm going to go into the Hermetic Principles. I understand that even though we were a big family, I was taught what love and unconditional is because we already know there's always those misfits in the family. We all had that one drunk uncle, that crazy aunt, that one that never talks too much, the one that gambles, the one that talks shit at the gamble when we play spades. We all have the same thing. That's why when I met Shawnee, and I'm proud that I met her because I understood that I'm a reflection of her. Right. So, and I'm going to also go into this concept that, we attract who we are, not what we want. So when we go online and we go on dates and we have this disposition before we pray, we have to understand that energy doesn't like destroy, it's transfer. That's the first law in physics, thermodynamics. It have to go to a conduit. Hermetic principles, all is mind, universe is mental, vibration. It have to be transit somewhere, transmuted somewhere. So I appreciate your honesty because I had to do that because I held the own personal grudge, but also hurt amazing woman. Like I went to college and it was the best experience. But I know, which is a great book I want people to look into by Joseph Campbell, The Hero of a Thousand Faces. I knew that my own personal experience with college wasn't the same experience for those young ladies because I misused their trust, their heart, right? I put this misrepresentation of what I wanted because sometimes us men don't clarify that we just want to hit it and quit it. So I did the most representation what a man may do, right? I did everything, check every box. But who am I to sit here in front of anyone and say that, you know what, I have all the answers because I don't. But I had the best representation that my mom taught me, understanding how to burn out desires and be truthful and to be understanding what your autonomy is. So with my girlfriend right now, she's free to be able to do what she wants. And I always want to clarify monogamy and then polyamory is not the aspect of wanting multiple partners. It's understanding that us as human beings and having spiritual beings having a human experience are only predestined to express what the God is, our divinity. So why would I restrict my girlfriend, soon to be fiance, to say that, you know what, as a woman, you cannot express your sexual needs? For me, monogamy, I couldn't do that. And then on the basis where it comes from in the Bible that subjugate women to be suppressive, that's not me. Because I had a dope mom that showed me what individuality, and she taught my sisters how to respect their autonomy. So how I show up in relationship is directly correlated to my mom sharing Linnell Camp. So when I hit here and I tell people that understand that when we show up in some spaces, when we go on these dates, be honest, talk your shit. Say, these are my non-negotiables. I told her that. In the pandemic, we all was being grown, right? We was doing our thing with the mask on, and I met her. I said, hey, look, I come with this. This is what I'm dealing with. Because I got tired of hurting other souls. People don't understand this thing called karma, cause and effect. Ask and it shall be given to you. Seek, you shall find. Knock, it should be opened onto you. I understood that the very thing that I'm doing is to her is a direct correlation and reflection of my ancestors and my mom and my nana and my grandmother, because I know better. And when they say when you know better, you do better. I'm not no expert. I just knew that I was in a poor decision. I went through my own mental health scare and I made the connection because dealing with death, I didn't trust anyone. And still to this day, like I will be vulnerable, but I do have certain measures to protect my vulnerability because as a man, we're not told to be vulnerable. And for me, this is an introduction for me being vulnerable because as a man, I'm a very alpha masculine man. I take care of my fiance. She don't have to work. I want her to be able to be in her creative divine space so she could be who she are because all her life, a man told her what to do. So when I tell her, I hear her, I hear her. When I tell my sisters, I hear them, I hear them. What if there's a man in this world, not just me, but other like-minded people on this frequency that understand that what we put out, we get. So when I let her be who she is, I understand her autonomy. We do have rules. She can't bring no one to the house. right? But at the end of the day, I understand my limitation in this physical shell because I know as a man, I can't satisfy every need of her, but I understand her individuality. I understand her godhood. I understand that she's just a reflection of me. The Bible tried to say it from a cold metaphysical level with the rib. It's just that we are both principles, feminine and masculine. She's more right brain. I'm more left brain. Sometimes I merge both. But even for me to have this conversation of science love, I had to unpack my trauma. I realized that the very time I was dealing with girls, I wouldn't say the effing word, but interfacing with young ladies, I was just only mirroring what my subconscious was playing out. Again, our subconscious mind absorbed 95% of the time. It doesn't know the difference between the past, present, and future. To go deeper on an occult level, the spiritual realm don't know the difference between past, present, and future. So when we do these invocation and veneration to our ancestors, we don't understand that when we ask these assistants on the other side, they don't give a damn about no bills. They don't understand that our time is not their time. So for me, I understood the system of healing because when I went to hypnotherapy, I had to understand my own trauma, and I was deeply rooted in my root chakra, sacral chakra. What 12-year-olds should be fucking, you know, not the curse, but what 12-year-olds should be understanding what sex is. And then I was introduced to Kundalini and metaphysical stuff at a very early age, and that's a lot of knowledge for a young kid. If you don't realize, young kids like to be around older people. We're the ultimate ear hustlers. So for those ones who can relate, give me a thumbs up. Have you ever been an ear hustler in your life where you at the table and you have relatives come on and you playing dominoes or spades? And I was that kid. I like to ask grown up a lot of questions. But again, I didn't have a consistent male figure to show me how to transmute that energy. My mom was only able to show me the divine feminine. So when I had arguments with ladies, I would run. I would walk away. I would not finish the conversation. I would not respect her needs. I would not allow her to finish what she said. And that's the thing that's crazy about reciprocity and what love is that people want love, but don't realize it's a two-way street, right? We're not supposed to say, hey, I want to be in a relationship and it's 50-50. No, God already made you complete. You're already perfect. The only imperfection that we have is that we're in this vessel and it's distorted. The frequency is distorted, but you're supposed to come here to kind of complement your other half, you know? And I saw something recently on Instagram. This poor man went on a date and he did everything that was entitled. He checked every box. Even that's also a trauma, right? You know, God rest his soul. I don't really agree to every terminology, but Kevin Samuel was saying it perfectly. Like every woman and man want these high value men and women, but what about the in between, right? We're chasing this thing that's outside of us in this three-dimensional world, but we realizing that there's good men and good people in this world and women who want the same thing because you attract who you are, not what you want. Yes, just left a relationship like that, was not allowed to speak my truth. Do you know that's really disheartening to be stuck in a relationship? That's like a mental prison. I was in a relationship with a woman. I'm not going to say her name. I understood my truth. My grandmother told me I'm not an African-American. I had a book since I was a kid. I stayed with my grandmother from the time I was 11 to the time I went to college, and she passed away in 2004 in pancreatic cancer. We had a book. I understand my indigenous ancestor. I'm Choctaw and Cherokee. We were sharecroppers. She said we're not African-American. That was a term when Jesse Jackson ran for president in 1976. I have my own knowledge of self. And I'm saying this because even me understanding the feminine principle, it's a disservice that us men don't understand that. And this is why you see this manifestation of what's happening. Kevin Samuels was accurate of what we were talking about, what we have are non-negotiables. That's what a high value man and woman is. But we kind of put the connotation to monetary value, not the spiritual value. Because at the end of the day, right, our ancestors, the ancient Egyptians, right, Kemet, they told us shit, we can't take the shit with us. So that scale, right, that mayat, when they weigh your scale, your heart is not based contingent upon what you did on this earth. It's how did you actually reciprocate that God principle called love. So if you go to the next slide, I'm gonna actually kind of go into deep because I understood that spiritual science. I fell in love with numerology when I had to go through my own therapy, because when you allow the hypnotherapist just to give people a heads up, I'm not going to mention their name because they still got to answer my email. And so I'll give them a brand advertisement. There's things that hypnotherapists will kind of uncover in your subconscious mind. I think most European-based scientists don't realize they're tapping into the other side. But he helped me understand that I was doing something in my past that kind of stemmed from a past life. And as we all know, and for those who study astrology, if you understand your natal chart, if you ever look at your north node is telling you your point of direction and why you came here for your life purpose. Your south node is really what your karmic cycle, what your past life is, which is the dominant behaviors and energies that you came for today. I can even go into deep like that, but I'm going to explain the numerology standpoint. So when I realized this, I ran across this book on his desk by David Hawkins. It's called the David Hawkins Scale, something levels of consciousness. And I did a test, right, with my students, and I'm not sure if the crowd have. Oh, I'm gonna show you in real time. I'm not sure. I think my mic went on mute. So I'm just gonna go back because I think I went on mute. I'm gonna show you in real time what I kind of understood in my own therapy, hypnotherapy. They uncover a lot of my behavior patterns, but also I understood this level of consciousness. He had his book on his desk by David Hawkins. And when we talk about love, when we talk about reciprocation, and someone said, yes, I had to recognize, same here, Rachel wore the mask all my life. Understanding that everything is energy, and one of the Hermetic principles, vibration, the more you stay in suffering, if you look at the scale, and I'm gonna go down on the left-hand corner, everyone, you look at the scale on your left, you have shame, guilt, apathy, grief, fear, desire, anger, pride, courage, neutrality, willingness, acceptance, raising love, joy, peace, and enlightenment, right? And you see the scale where if you at your suffering, and this is one thing I understood with CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy, my professor, Dr. Mancuso, broke it down so lovely. And shout out to my cohort. Hopefully, if they are watching, shout out to Marielle, James, Kyle, TJ, my mental health professionals. I'm gonna get to your question, brother. I see you. I just want to give them a shout out. I got you, Adam. I just want to give them a shout out because they helped me understand this as well. Because I just came from Alfred like less than 16 hours ago. And every summer we have to do our summer classes for counseling. But shout out to them if they're watching. They're going to be some dope healers, dope trainers, and also Max and Darnell. She's a female, although it's a male's name. But go ahead, Adam, you had a question before I get into this? Adam, you had a question?
I didn't really have a question, but I wanted to, add on to what you were saying.
Absolutely. Go ahead. Peace, God.
I just want to say that this Western culture has really done a number on us as a people ever since we've been brought here to this country. Personally, for me, when I'm learning about relationships, I had to learn through the entertainment industry, particularly in movies and music and some of these shows like Maury and Love and Hip Hop. The big issue that we are facing to this day is the fundamental issues and spiritual issues when it comes to relationships with each other. That song, "The Love of the Money" by the OJs, which I always bring up on this in some space. That song to the truth.
Absolutely, that's my song. Go ahead, bro.
I mean, we listened to that song, but I don't think we really understood the message of what they were trying to say. They were trying to say that if you put money over everything, that means your spiritual values will go low. And sure enough, look at what we have. We got so much crime. We got so much chaos because of that. And you also brought up Kevin Samuel when he talked about the high value men and how we are, measuring each other about how much money we have versus the spiritual value.
And the one thing I'm glad you said that, Adam, because here's the thing about spiritual values that our ancestors understood is that they made like this concept and this axiom that we build a village together. The village was based on the principle of love. This is why when we all, and I like to make this analogy watching Martin, because Martin's my favorite show, where he said, I think in season 2, where we just chilling in the cut in our own area in the diaspora, under the sun and the tree, like we were just chilling. Then the Europeans kind of imposed their own understandings and beliefs. And to be honest, they kind of learned it from us, from the Moors, but they didn't understand the disposition of why we kind of had this collaborative economy. And I'm happy you said that, Adam, because the Western way of love is transactional. Why you think most women, and they keep saying the statistic is 51%, I'm pretty sure divorce rate is pretty higher than that. But every woman has a transactional value of what love is and what their relationship should be, contingent upon the expense and value of that man's checking account or savings account. I know because I personally went through this myself. I know we see this every day. I know, I get it. We want a hot girl summer. I get it. people want this modern lifestyle, and I want women to have their autonomy. But then also you have to understand the values of what our ancestors kind of put what the principle of what love and a unit of a family is. Because the dynamic has already shifted. And I'm glad you mentioned that, Adam, because Western culture imposes value where, yes, they introduced this whole idea that a woman should be subservient, a housewife. But then when World War II happened, and then we had to have the woman go into the workforce, which was so great. But then that pushed the woman to be in its true masculine form too much. And then you have this notion that people want to be in a soft life, but how can you still be in your soft life if you're still pushing in your masculine energy? And when you are pushing too much in your masculine, you are going to repel the feminine. Because what if you meet a guy who is truly balanced, who's working on his healing, who's working on his trauma, who are truly balanced in both the masculine and feminine? So when people say, Adam, damn, I can't find a man. No, sister, you're too much in your masculine. How you want a man to provide and protect, but you're doing the same shit? Respectfully. So even my mom had to tell me, and she's the first teacher. She put me on game. Like, you have to be mindful how we show them spaces. So yes, we were imposed. Yes, that's one thing that I don't want to go too political, but that's what they did. When they strip away our culture and our understanding, our spirituality, the basis of spirituality was a matriarchal system. It wasn't a patriarchal system. The great leaders and pharaohs that's not going to be listed on this in the textbooks, which is why one of the reasons I stopped teaching in 2014 is that they shifted our culture and our history on 4 pages. And you expect me to teach the New York State Regents exam and tell me I can't teach the kids the real truth of picnic, which meant pick a nigga, or understand what the true essence, what happened in Reconstruction. What I'm saying is, and I'm glad you mentioned this, Adam, is that Western culture, and I'm glad that we're having this conversation, and I'm happy that Shawnee asked me to kind of like be here, because one thing I fell in love with this concept of healing, and she said that through your healing phase, Travis-Sinclair, you have to be in a position to push the envelope, because sometimes when we share our healing, it's a revelation, but oftentimes we have to be ready to kind of unpack the revelation for people to understand and provide tangible results and solutions. This is why I don't like motivational speakers. This is why I don't like to be an influencer, because I'm a man that provides solution. Think about it. If we really want to talk about culture and what Western culture have done and how they use the Christian church, if people really have the answers and really was told the solutions and not advice, because advice is codependency, no one will be in church. Because if I got the solution, why do I gotta keep going back? It's a cycle. I was gonna curse, but it's a cycle. So when I say I'm here showing up in this space about healing, because I understood that. I went to every person I could think of. I traveled. I'm a teacher. We had the best time off. We have summer, spring break, Christmas break, winter break. I traveled with my guys in Canada. And I understood the feminine energy was around me, but I misused it. And I understood that, wait, hold up. We want to be this, but then we want this American dream, but then we are in conflict with ourselves because this American dream is false. Even the Hermetic Principles and the DSM, how they diagnose us, our people as a people. The psychology and the philosophy and the history is even a misnomer, because look how they judge us. So when I talk about healing, I'm a person that went through the trenches. I know how it feels to be locked away for 3 weeks because I had a misunderstanding about psychosis that I dealt with watching my best friend die in front of me. Where people didn't understand that. So again, grace and forgiveness, and I know my family's gonna watch this. The reason why I'm so graceful, and they said, Travis-Sinclair, why are you so peaceful? Because my peace of mind came to the understanding that we people only operate based on the information they have, that they act on. If I'm on the form right now, Adam, and I say, hey, Adam, you are an engineer, and I'm a painter. When we both go to the room, we're gonna have different point of direction of perception. You're gonna see as an engineer what the electrical wiring is supposed to be. Me as an artist, I'm saying, you know what, Adam? Nah, we're gonna paint this, because again, information changes the neuroplasticity in our brain. Epigenetics is real. Our cells respond to environment. So if my environment, since the time I was in my mom's womb, and I'm still remembering the time my dad cursed her out, the time my dad rejected her, the time my mom was trying, it was passed on to me DNA. So every time I'm exposed to a stimuli in that environment in my own relationships, I'm only acting on predisposition behavior that sometimes is genetically happening to us. But what if I can tell you that you can correct that? It's a process, Adam. It's a process, people, because we do have this understanding that our ancestors understood that everything we have an influence in the spiritual realm, as above, so below. What we point in our reference to for more than 17 seconds and what we pray on, it manifests. But sometimes we want someone to answer our prayer, but when we're telling God how to manifest for us, that's why they said, let go and let God. So when I told my homegirl yesterday saying that, yes, I don't understand why he say he loves me, but he's not ready to be in a relationship, and I'm not emotionally available, and I spit game for her for the signs of love. Because how do you expect a man who's already telling you in the beginning that I'm going to treat you like you are in Walmart or Target and take your heart off the shelf when it's convenient? Because she didn't specify her non-negotiables. So for me, I'm not a preacher. I'm not a pastor. I'm not a motivational speaker. I'm a spiritualist that give practical solutions because I've been through some shit. I understand how it feels, but also I had proper representation what love is because of my mom, Hermetic Camp. So I'm glad that Adam posed that question because the values, right? I grew up in a family of teachers and preachers. Look at the Bible. I'm sorry to say it's a great occult book, but it's already subjugating women already in the first 2 chapters. So men is already programmed, Adam. So Western philosophy and mindset is already telling men at an early age that a woman's supposed to be in the house. So when I said Kevin Samuel, the contradiction of why people was getting mad at him, he understood that. Some brothers, we know the science. We're not going to say it because what's the purpose of saying the true science if people are not willing to do the inner work, Adam? You feel me? So what if we understand that and kind of push this paradigm shift? Because I understood what my matriarch was trying to tell me. I still pray at my altar. I understood who was my divine God. I understand that there's no God outside of me, that all I have to do is tap in and meditate and understand the lesson that my grandmother's whispering. To understand that if I'm sick, she helps me every day. Every time I need a certain herb, she say, go get that sea moss, boy. Because I understood where I come from. But see, we can't get mad at our people and our family because I'm from the South Bronx. I understood. I love my city. But I understand that these brothers are only acting from trauma. So when I show that picture, when we in trauma and we contracting, that energy has to go somewhere. So I'm glad my mom put me in football and boxing because in my early years, I had a lot of aggression. Again, my mom's a feminine woman and she's bad. She's a feminine woman. I only learned from my feminine and my masculinity was misrepresented from gang culture, right? I'm being honest and everything I'm saying is documented on my LinkedIn and my Facebook. Grew up in Folk Nation, Crip Nation, 158 Grand Concourse. I'm born in 1988. I understand what culture is and I understand what culture of a misrepresentation of what community is, what love is. And in my community, every woman that walk by, whoever get the first girl who have 30 bodies by the end of the week, you're a man for the week. Look at the misrepresentation. So all I'm saying is when I kind of have this conversation and I give a lot of praise to men and women who are going through therapy because you have to be patient with yourself, that therapy is just a journey. We still have to unpack some ish that's still embedded in our DNA from my ancestors. So we both have opportunities to kind of create this dynamic where the traumas may come up, but also our geniuses come up. But I was willing, Adam, at the age of 25, because I knew I had to get checked in. I voluntarily put myself in, 2014, and I praised my mentor, Misha Porter. I was defeated. And then when I talk about symbolism, I'm talking about it later, like with the subconscious mind, and shout out to my great teacher, Brother Panic. He taught us really well over the past summer. He said our subconscious mind is affected by trauma, symbolism, right? And repetition. The repetition for me, I'm keep seeing trauma all the time. I'm keep seeing domestic violence all the time. The symbolism, what does music promote? You a hoe, you a hoe, you a hoe, you a hoe, you a bitch, you a bitch, you a bitch, you a bitch, you a hoe, you a hoe. Look at the repetition. And I love DMX, but man, that song was my anthem, which what this nigga want from, yo, it was Brenda, Letitia, Linda, Felicia, Doug, LaShawn, you see what I'm saying? The repetition. So we already programming the youth, and look what's happening with drill music. It's all repetition. No one want to pick up a gun at him and say, I want to shoot him up, bam, bam. That's not love. It's look at the repetition that's already affecting the subconscious mind. Right? And yes, shout out to Misha Porter, because if it wasn't for her, she said, look, Trav, go home. She said, go home and then contact your family and take a break because I'm working 3 jobs in 2014 and people don't understand what trauma is. Imagine growing up and that's all you're being exposed to. Even in 2012, my family was displaced by Hurricane Sandy. My mom was displaced. Like, I understand what trauma is. And I'm not saying I figured this shit out, but I understood what was predisposed to me because I didn't choose this family, even though I did on a spiritual level. I didn't choose that destination and I don't want to finish there. And I understood that. And that's when I mentioned about grace, because again, people, we have this infighting, with our family currently, and I could feel the energy in the chat. We all have this infighting with our family because we chose that. Some experiences that our soul needs is to kind of work on shit that we didn't finish in our last incarnation. So our parents and our family are just reflection of what we still have to figure out. So this is why grace is forgiveness, Adam, because I understood my dad had limited knowledge of what's to be a man. My mom was a parent at 19. It's 14 of us. So how dare should I be mad and say, look, you did me wrong and I carry this in my own manhood and relationships, because that's what happens. Most people, most adults, and I'm gonna call people out respectfully, not this group, but just on a global scale, we always blame our parents about why our relationships are not successful. Because yes, there's a part of it, but there's also a level of accountability. You're going to see blaming your father and your mom, and they're like, they're in there 60 and 70, and you 40 years old, come on. So sometimes being intentional with your healing and understanding science love is that we can get any man and woman we want. That's pure manifestation. We have power of the tongue. But what if what you're speaking of is coming from a poor judgment of trauma, because what you think you need, you don't really need. It's a want. So I do want to pose a question. Did anyone have any questions? I could keep going on.
Yeah, 1 second, brother, before we get to the questions. I'm going to come to you, Rachel. I see you, Rise of the Unknown. I see you. I just want to acknowledge the time. It is 7:55, and we know that some of us transition into different spaces. If you're going to your spiritual worship, what have you, know that you can see the recording on our Facebook page, right? And Chantel just put Brother Travis's information in the chat. So please, at some point, reach out, contact him. We're getting fed a lot of powerful, nourishing information today, inspirational, hands on the pulse, and learning some steps along the way and within the process. The chat is on fire. We got hands up. So jump on in here, Rachel. Ask your question.
Can I do share one thing? I'm gonna make the connection. I'm sorry, brother, not to cut your wisdom off. I was gonna also lead into numerology, because one of the things I deal with clients is that I understood that from a subconscious hypnotherapy level of understanding, our ancestors pose a direction of energy. So our birthday and the day that we're born have a particular energy signature that talks about what our karmic cycle are, what our predestined energy, not to say everything is pre-written, but I can do a quick 3 to 5 minute real time reading for those in numerology to make the connection, what I talked about trauma and how that positioning of your birthday, of how you show up in your relationships.
Powerful, brother, powerful. So can we do this, get these 2 questions, and then we can go into that engagement?
Okay.
All right, beautiful.
Blessings.
We'll do Rachel, then Teresa.
Yes, blessings.
Hey, good morning, Rachel. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. So you said a lot, right? And I'm trying to process everything that you have said. Everything that you have said is very powerful. However, something that stuck out for me was when you said, women choose. And I'm going to speak for myself, right? Because I always like to keep it on I. So for me, I was raised without my father nor my mother, right? I was on my own since 14 years old. In that, I chose or did not choose, rather, right?
Absolutely.
I accepted certain things that were presented to me that weren't necessarily a choice. It was about survival. It was about figuring it out. It was actually I was in a not thought, like I didn't think, right? I never thought. I just moved. So my trauma navigated me majority of my life. Absolutely. Right. So I think it's important to understand that our conscious will always be subconscious until we become conscious.
Absolutely. I'm so happy you said that, Rachel.
Right. And so because when I deal with youth, I also deal with youth and at-risk youth. And something that always shows up, they're like, I'm doing, and I'm like, subconsciously you're moving, right? So I can't even place blame. Yeah, like you absolutely. Said, a young man doesn't wake up and shoot somebody because they said, I want to kill somebody today. Absolutely. It's their emotions that led them.
Yep. It's called subconscious prompt. It's like everything is being absorbed. We are walking sponges. Just like I had a young kid, Rachel, that he still remember what his mom said at 3 years old. Yeah. I still remember what my 3rd grade teacher said when my mom came to pick us up with another baby carriage. And she said, damn, your mom have another kid? Because I'm 35. I have a sister that's 34, 33, 32, 31. I have a brother that's 28, 27, 25, Rachel. So I could definitely relate, because oftentimes we don't realize that once we become consciously aware, we call it, and this is a book called Power of Habits, it's called the positive loop factor. We have the ability to change that if we replace that behavior and event. So even if we have these traumas and it shows up in relationships and therapy, they look at what the event that caused the behavior, and the behavior is influenced by the emotions. The emotions influenced by the thoughts, which how my Professor Dr. Syria put it, the triangle. So I'm happy you said that, because for me as a dean, I stopped suspending kids because he subconsciously acted out of trauma. He didn't eat that day. No one said good morning. No one said you're beautiful. Do you know how it feels when other kids show up to school and they see other kids getting dropped off by their parents and they hear these affirmations every morning and they do not have that? I was that kid. I know how it feels. So when I'm walking in these schools and they say, damn, how you have this ability to connect with kids? Because I'm from the South Bronx. I don't come here with my love of education. I have 4 degrees, 2 masters and 2 undergrads from Hofstra, and 2 from coming from Alfred. But I tell kids I'm just a reflection of you, because damn, Rachel, I didn't have an understanding what's happened. So yes, I kept replaying that. Yes, I thought it was cool to catch a juke. And the juke is from the South Bronx. We would beat on people right there on 161. Yes, I thought it was cool to walk with 40 people across the concourse and actually start a issue, right? So even that programming made me show up in spaces in college. I'm a college kid with a do-rag and still flagging, until I had to realize I'm still acting out of trauma, PTSD. My friend just got murdered 6 months ago. But how can I actually unpack this with family and relatives who are not talking, who think that perfection is that, hey, do not air out your dirty laundry. Hey, we got to pray on it, which is okay to pray. But sometimes we have kids, and this is why people don't realize about kids doing self-harm. They're saying this all over social media because there are kids who don't understand how to unpack trauma, Rachel. There's kids who still don't understand how to unpack what the pandemic has happened. They program fear after fear, death after death. I have a kid to this day that still wear a visor and a mask, and we're in 2023 and we're in summer school. You see the trauma? Again, the subconscious mind is affected by repetition, symbolism, and trauma. The symbolism, pandemic, death, the repetition, the news, the trauma, mom at home, or if we're most of the kids I was serving, they was in what do they call it? They call it ACS, but it was in a system where they didn't have the right resources. So no one's actually telling the narrative to tell kids how to deal with anxiety and stress management. So when I'm happy that you said that, because even these kids are going to be adults soon, and they're going to become wives and boyfriends and girlfriends, and they're going to carry this trauma and misunderstanding of how to deal with stimuli in the environment, because we are going to have another crisis. I'm not a genie, but how are we actually helping kids to unpack trauma? When 9/11 happened, I was in 8th grade. That affected me. In 2001, parents ran into the school screaming and yelling. I'm thinking I'm about to die. So the fear of going to a grocery store with a great man, which is this miscultural representation, who have a what is it called? Well, basically a turban, like even that during that time misrepresented a lot of stuff, and why people have traumas and misrepresentation of people and culture, because events also impact us, epigenetics. And every time we influence information, the neurotransmitters affect our neuroplasticity. So when we talk about CBT and cognitive behavior therapy, the reason why we focus on the frontal lobe, because that's where our reasoning comes from. So I'm happy you mentioned that, Rachel, and I'm sorry to go off on a tangent.
No, you're good. You're full of information. So that's important.
I've done the work and I'm still working on it. 17 years of trauma.
I think that, and this is just me speaking because I've learned this, right? This community is also full of so much information, especially our elders.
Absolutely.
That I always love to tap in to listen to them and just hear their perspectives, because I've learned so much from everybody.
Absolutely. And
along with the facilitators.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And the elder is the reason why I actually got into teaching, because at Hofstra, they have this program called New Opportunities at Hofstra, the Know program. That program saved me because I had a global history teacher by the name of Frank Smith, who literally grabbed me by the neck and said, you're acting out of your trauma. I get it. Your mom is having a kid every day. I get it. You're upset. But hey, there's a program called Hofstra. I got denied every college, Rachel. I wasn't the best kid on paper, but hell yeah, I was book smart and street smart. Because where we come from, you have to have different aspects of survival. So I was in that program from 2006, 2011. That taught me how to study. That allowed me to allow my geniusness and everyone else's geniusness to be in a safe space to be smart. Because we know how it is to be teased when you're in a smart class and you have your friends teasing you, oh, you think you're smart. Like, I was a smart kid, but also I was a ladies' man. And also I was part of a crew. So I had, look at the many faces I have to wear, which is a great book, Joseph Campbell, A Hero with 1,000 Faces. So when I was on my hero's journey, Rachel, I realized that I was holding this energy, right? Which is so much, right? When we keep a mask on, just like anger and which correlates to trauma, you know how much energy to keep a mask and a false identity. And then you also have to keep a mask of anger and resentment. That's a lot of energy pulling you left and right. So when I meet a woman, I can't give her 100%. And I was honest. I said I couldn't be emotionally available because I might fuck up your life. And I was honest. But sometimes people want honesty and truth, Rachel, but they don't know how to handle it because they just want what they want. Because in our culture, it's been taught to be transactional.
I think it's also important to recognize that women also, because for myself, I watered myself down for many years, like extreme, like I was always very intelligent. However, you know, pass me a blunt or give me some Hennessy.
As you
and I'm all
should,
good, right?
as you should.
Well, but I
Talk to me
watered
nice,
myself
as you
down.
should.
But I watered myself down, right? So my point to that is that men are in the same, like women and the men are in the same kind of fight, not even realizing they're in the same room, same battle.
As you should. And then here's one thing about that. Like, people always talk about vices and needs. Rachel, I'm going to go to the next question. I think there's somebody by the name of Teresa. I'll finish this off. One thing, and this is why I kind of try to help people free themselves from their limitations, because we are always worrying about other people's perception and what they think of us. But if you realize, no one can really spend that much time, because again, my professor, Dr. Serial, Dr. Mancusa said it. Our brain short-term memory is from 2 to 17 seconds. So when we think, when we post on Instagram and post on Facebook and post on LinkedIn, and we think people are really worrying about us, they're not. Because Rachel, they're worrying about themselves. And I only say this to make the connection, is that if you want to smoke your blunt and your Hennessy, as long as you do it appropriately, constructively, do you, because we only have one life. We are putting limitations in terms of a divine expression. And that's a lot of energy. It makes you stay in your sacral and your root chakra. So in order to push that kundalini up, that creativity, that godhood, your divineness, to keep flowing, the reason I'm able to flow and talk, because I let shit go. I can only control what's in front of me. I cannot control the actions of my mom and my father. I cannot control the actions of my aunts and uncles and siblings, I have a lot of them. I cannot control the actions of my students that I serve and the executive directors and people I interface with. I cannot control what their perception, because again, every time we interface with someone, they have a different interpretation of you, Rachel. So when you go to your salon, when you go to your family outings, when you go to work, when you go to the park with your kids, every person have a different impression. So why put too much emphasis on worrying about what people think? If we understand our non-negotiables, make sure we be intentional, because at the end of the day, people already have their own prejudgment or assumptions. So to free yourself, to really be yourself, and I only said it in a way to kind of make a connection. I'm not saying you should smoke weed and and do the Hennessy, because I'm a herbalist. I don't care. I'm glad it's legal. But other than that, because it's a form of healing and meditative, constructively, all I'm saying is that we already been programmed to put limitation on our expression. Woman, y'all been said that throughout the Bible. That's what they call Bible. It's bull. Other than that, why do you think that it says Bible? Because much of it is, the suffix is a lie. They put women in this most subservient space. All I'm saying is, I'm happy I have this opportunity to unpack, because healing, again, to summarize, it's a journey. When you understand your autonomy and spiritual truth and unpack, you can have the most productive relationships. And thank you, Rachel, for like adding that in. You can have the most productive relationships if we understand and clarify and evaluate. To understand and clarify and evaluate, we do have to go through healing and go through therapy and unpack some ish. I still have a therapist for 8 years. I'm still unpacking some ish. I was exposed to a lot of ish, gunfight, trauma, fights. No lie, I'm very transparent. If everyone knows what it feels like to be right there by 158 Grand Concourse, you still have the Supreme Courthouse for correctional officers, but people are still shooting. Then I can still go down a block and not sure if I'm going to get jumped, because right there on Cortland Ave, they give it up. Jackson Projects, Melrose, Patterson. I'm saying some truth, Jerome. These are neighborhoods that once upon a time you couldn't just walk through freely. So me walking with this trauma and understanding how to unpack it and seeing our kids in this classroom going through this, it's called grace. So when I introduced this introduction of science of love, because technically this is a three-part conversation, I understood that in order for me to be a proper educator, healer, guide, mentor, I had to check my own biases. I had to check my own crises and trauma. Because as we serve students, we have to understand there's a thing called projection. There's this thing on transference that oftentimes we project on kids, and you don't understand why they act the way you do, based on what you're doing, based on what you're giving to them. So remember, law of karma, what you put out comes back to you. So every seed that you planted, every conversation you think that's not visible, whether it's your child, your niece, your student, someone at the store, be mindful of what you're saying, because the subconscious mind is recording as we speak. You can still talk freely in those areas. Can't wait to talk freely in those areas. All right, there's another question. Teresa L. Scott, I'm so sorry. Teresa, you have a question?
No,
Teresa?
I have a question, and I want to say I'm enjoying what you're saying, because what you're saying is so true. A lot of people, I would just watch. My sister sent me something last night saying that the words that you have said to your loved ones are showing up because you have spoken this constantly over and over into
Absolutely.
their life. And so I was talking to my son last night, and I said something to him. I said, you know what? I said, we really got to watch what we're saying, because he was saying that one of my grandchildren was doing something stupid. And I was like, I don't believe it's stupid. I believe they operate the
See,
same
look at
way
the
with the stupid
narrative.
thing. And I
Absolutely.
said to him, I said, and so what I realized is that where he's at and where I'm at is different. And so I had to be patient with him. And I said to him, I said, son, they're dealing with a spirit. I said, and so that's not them. Well, even what they did is stupid. I said, but us using that word just does more damage, to the person. I said, so we really have to watch what we said. But
Absolutely.
what I want to say is that my birthday, my new saying is 65 alive and fly. And my birthday is July 16,
You go, girl. Oh,
1958.
we connected. See, you are
My
7-7.
right. So my birthday is July 16, 1958. So I would like for you to talk to me
Oh,
about that day.
this is dope. I'm gonna do this real time, right? Because I'm January 16th, right? So this is how I could tell that this is really resonating with you, because your day number, right? And if someone can point to the slide and I can give the visual and also still keep Teresa on the phone, or it's on the phone, on the call. If I can go to the slide with numerology, I'm gonna show in real time. Because there's one thing that the ancestors left is that, see, we didn't create numbers, we discovered numbers, right? The Dogon tribe, they understood that as above, so below. They understood the stars, they understood numbers, they understood the Pythagoras system, because people don't realize Pythagoras' real name is Thoth Hermet, right? So he was the real creator of that. And it's misnomer is what Pythagoras' real name, because once upon a time, we had this great library called Alexandria. And the reason why Alexander the Great was trying to burn every particular occult school, because they taught the symbolism of knowledge of self. They didn't write things down. Our ancestors didn't write things down. They put those things on those walls called hieroglyphics, because they understood the subconscious mind. They understood that by understanding the symbolism is going to trigger those who come back to visit. So for those who made their Kemet or their trip to Mecca, or their trip to the Egypt, to the pyramids, and you felt this vibration and understanding and this love when you looked at the walls, because you're already activating the God consciousness, the subconscious mind, the ancestor that's already dormant. So you're 7-7. Even in your early years, I can tell, Miss Rachel, actually, sorry, Teresa, right? You're spiritual. Early years, you misunderstood as a kid. You probably daydream a lot, because in your early phase, for the first time, you look at your birthday, then your day number. I'm not going to end the focus on a year. The first month tells me your first 9 years. In numerology, everything is a cycle. 1 through 9 is an ending and beginning. Your day number comes with the manifestation of what you came here to do. What do you exude? The energy, the signature, the vibration. So, Teresa, you have 1 and a 6 like me. You're very independent, right? You are a person that takes lead a lot, but also people depend on your wisdom and your counsel, because 1 and a 6 is 7. They're spiritual, right? They're very intuitive. You can walk in a room, right? That's why when you go to your parties, I don't like this vibe, because you're big on energy. You can feel the vibe, but also you can tell when someone's bullshit and you're in mid-conversation, because you understand nonverbal cues very well. You understand the nonverbal energy that's around us, because again, it's why I said early on, be mindful of what we say. We do have thought forms. thought forms do float around. So with you, you've been tapped in at a very age. You was very daydreamy and creative. You probably have very creative, intuitive talents like me. I can feel it because I'm January 16th, but I'm also a 777 because my life path is a 7, which leads to your life purpose. But for you, your first 9 years, which is a 7 energy, I can pretty tell that you had to kind of fight for your independence, fight for being understood, because when you used to talk, you was one of those kids that said, girl, stay in a grown, don't, they used to say, stay in a child's place, because you used to say some ish when you're not supposed to say some ish, but also just your loving nature, because that 1 and the 6 represents the caretaker, the harmony, the caretaker and the harmony. So you have both dualities. When I say the left brain, right brain, when you have 2 digits, 1 shows the signature of your left brain, 1 is your right. Your left brain is the analytical, which is your masculine. The right is the intuitive, spiritual, feminine, the receiving, the intuitive, the flow. So for you, because I don't want to spend too much, because I can even tell you why you have a lot of trust issues. I can feel it based on your number system. But if you could give me a thumbs up, I can tell that you're into spirituality. This is why you found your tribe. This is one of the reasons why you're here. But just be mindful not to impose on your own, because I had to work on this. I'll say this. Be mindful that when you come through your own epiphanies, revelations, you got new ideas. Sometimes you get too excited. You want to share it to people, but sometimes people are not ready to receive what you have to say.
So that's very true.
When they say don't cast your pearls next to swine, people have a misrepresentation, Teresa. That's mean that gradually give people gems, just like when you make a cake, right? It's a process. I can't give my students the true understanding of self. I have to do it in a gradual process. So when we write our curriculums, we're building up to the skill set. So in your relationship moving forward, because you are going to have this conversation with a daughter of yours in September, guide her through your process. Sometimes people have to wake up on their own time and their own season.
Thank you, brother. What you said is 100% true. My problem.
I wanted to go the other way because there's some X-rated stuff, but I ain't gonna do this online. You know
no. We could talk.
Because you know what I'm saying.
We could talk privately.
Yeah, we got to talk online because you know your energy.
No.
Sometimes you gotta let the men catch up to you. Hold on, we're gonna talk about that later. You got a lot of vitality. You've been showing that. I ain't gonna say that part, but we'll talk about that offline. Make sure the brother get 10 more minutes before let me stop. Any other questions? Because I don't want to read you in real time. I could read a lot of people real time. I'm a highly intuitive person. I get my gifts from my grandmother. Meditation helped a lot. So I'm showing you in real time how to actually use our ancestral system. Our ancestors in Kemet utilized this. This was on the walls of Kemet. But I have an understanding. I kind of craft this in my own practice. I do have a corporate student facing where I teach mental health educations and strategies for schools. But for psycho-spiritual, and you know, talk about psycho-spiritual, talking about the element of holistically teaching, because I don't give advice, I teach, right? I'm gonna teach you how to get the fish. I'm not gonna make you eat at my table all the time. I believe in teaching, guiding, and interfacing because I'm still a student. I just here to give knowledge and reciprocate. So the more I share, you actually help me refine what I'm getting downloads and kind of understand how to bring into my practice. So any other questions? I could do 2 more people. Or if we pass time.
Well, we are looking at about 12 more minutes before we wrap up.
I could do 4 more in 12 minutes.
All right. So if anybody else would like to engage, I see Laura's hand is raised. So
how you doing, Laura? Good morning, Grand Rising.
Grand Rising again. Thank you so much. Love where you're coming from. I'm a 7. I'm January 4th. I'd like you to just say something about, why I've experienced the trauma I did in my early life. I know.
Okay, so this is a preface because I believe in confidentiality and creating safe spaces. I don't want to go deeper in that. We can connect offline. But I can tell you why you had these series of events and why certain things happened based on your birthday. I don't want to go to that other aspect because that's something private I should talk to you offline. But you said you're born January 4th, and I'll get to the person that says Philly Baker. So you said January 4th. So automatically, similar to me, I'm January 16th. In your life, you had to kind of insert your independence, your individuality. It was constantly challenged. So even being born under the number 4, if you look at number 4, it says salt of earth, because salt of earth is like foundation. Just like even with the men that you may have met in your past, you was always measuring men based on the foundation and stability. You're big on foundation stability. You're not the type of person that will do something on a whim or spontaneous, because you need to see the process built. You need an itinerary, but also it's part of your loving nature, your security, right? This is why you have a lot of stress on you, because family tend to think that you have it all put together, but oftentimes you have to be honest and say you don't, because naturally, right? Naturally, Laura, your disposition, your energy, your vibe, because your aura is like, I can see it, it's like 10 feet tall. You have to realize, do you give off this energy of the 4, right? I got stability. I got my ish in order. But sometimes having things in order may need to be fine-tuned. So be open to feedback, because sometimes you don't like to give feedback, because you tend to take things personal, because you have this independent streak with you. But oftentimes family, friends, even coworkers misunderstand your independence. You're not trying to be domineering, because you know what you want. You know your values. You know what you had to fight for. But oftentimes with trauma with men, and I could kind of gloss over it, but I'm not going to go too much into it, is that most men that you keep attracting, and I'm going to say this, and you could say high five and say, oh, hell yeah, is that you tend to attract men that needs a mom, that needs healing, that want someone to pay their bills, that want someone to put their ish all together, because you have this nurturing, divine, feminine energy that says, I'm here to heal, to nurture, come to my bosom. But not every man should be invited to your bosom, your temple, your castle, because they also have to define their non-negotiable, because you already had your non-negotiable since you was 11 years old. You already knew what kind of life you want, what kind of husband, what kind of house, what kind of country you want to live in. But oftentimes men misinterpret that when a woman got her ish together, they misuse it. And you don't know how to say no, because sometimes being in this dominant 4 builder energy, because you don't have enough harmony energy, because 4 is too in the mercurial brain, you often don't get enough affection anyway. So you take every invite that a man give you, but don't want to push them off, because shit, who wants to be by themselves? So I can talk about offline. Okay.
Yeah, we have to.
Yes,
Thank you
because
so much.
I don't want you, I don't want no one to tell how you throwing that thing back. But anyway, other than that, we'll talk
Thank you
offline.
very
Not
much.
Laura, not Mama Laura.
Yeah, Mama Laura, nah, not Mama Laura, not Mama Laura. I can't tell Mama Laura secret right now.
Thank you.
Anytime. But I just want to show people in real time. This is, I can do in like divinations, but I have a gift where I can do in real time. And that is my purpose, and kind of recorrect and redefine and just bring in summary. I'm no different than anyone here. I just understand my gifts. I use it intuitively to connect with patients, because I want to dive deeper holistically. Yes, I do believe that people need self-medication management and prescription if there's a biological chemical imbalance, because that happens because of stress. So even in my passion, in my field, I will have to prescribe. But what if I can teach you holistically how to build relationship repair, understand where the patterns of trauma, and then do the work? Because every person I interface with, even in my company, they have to have a therapist, because no one's perfect. And I don't want no one's trauma acting out when we're trying to close a deal and working with kids who are vulnerable. So my challenge to people too, I'm not promoting this, but this is the only teledoc virtual thing, is BetterHelp. But I love the fact that my fiance is in it. I'm in, well, not in that part, I'm too. But I believe that we still have to unpack. And just to give a shout out real quick, I'm working with someone on not LinkedIn, but Instagram. I don't want to share my link, because it's not about me getting paid. It's just the knowledge. So she wrote this book. Let me see. Hold on. I'll put in the link. It's called Shadow Work Book. I'm not sure you can see it, because I think if I put too close, it's going to mess up. But there's a book on Amazon I'm going to share at the end, where it's a shadow work journal. And these are some of the descriptive, reflective questions that I used in the past. But I met a dope young lady online who already kind of packaged it in a way and synthesize it where people can use it tangibly and not make it complicated. Now, I'm not saying it separates and stop from going to therapy and counseling, which I still recommend. But if you want practical tools, you can go to Amazon. It says the Shadow Work Journal, second edition, a guide to integrate and transcend your shadows. And for those who understand psychology and in the mental health space, Carl Jung coined this term, the inner child. And oftentimes our inner child is basically areas in our life that's been rejected, that has been attended to. So we grow up with this manifestation of trauma and we hold on to it, aspect that we don't show up or show the world. That's what your inner child is. That's what that journal kind of unpack in a very synthesized way, in a very clear, tangible way. So I don't want to give my link because I don't care about the money. I just want to give you a practical tool. I do have my own, but I believe in group economics and I believe in sharing resources because we all are on the same journey. Okay. Any other questions? I see Michelle and I see Florence.
Created a system of order right here to be able to close out. So we have about 6 minutes. We're probably going to go beyond and to our Woo community. We know that we're open to being able to go beyond the time.
Absolutely.
So we have Phyllis, Florence, Michelle, and Z in that order, and then after that we will bring things to closure. All right.
Okay.
So that's where we're going to be right now. So the Phyllis, if you're prepared and ready, you can share. Is your date in the chat? Is your birth date in the chat? Or you can come off and just share it.
Yeah, she could do both ways.
Yeah, she dropped it in the chat as well. It's 4/22/66.
Okay, 422. Similar. Okay, that's 422. All right. So I'm not going to spend too much time on the 66. And I think if anyone could look at the chat just to give you structure, because I wish I had it on the screen. So the first digit in your birthday tells you the first 9 years of your life. That's what you insert this life is. The second number, your day number, which is 22, is the energy signature that you came into this manifestation, this physical shell. I'm really synthesizing this in occult books and other books. They make it too complicated, but that is what you came here, the dominant vibration. Your age in terms of the year of your birth, like I'm 1988, that's something if I want to focus on, like if you're in your 75 or 70, or technically start from 63, 65, I kind of spend that later on if off, I think the second group, but to focus on you have double four, similar to what I spoke about with Teresa, because having that dominant energy already, I can tell that you kind of had a good understanding and model explanation of what stability looks like, what it should be looked like in terms of structure, culture. I can even feel that you're very big on systems and cultures and values. But oftentimes having so much experience in that, because you are double four, you came into the world starting with your 4 route, which is like a pathway, first 9 years, you're born with double 2, which is a master number, master builder. But you also have to be mindful that just because you got it correct, it's like I can tell you was in high school, you was one of those students that kind of had the first answer and you let anyone kind of like get a chance to ask their questions. Like you were so eager, but even in your predisposition, you are a natural healer. But sometimes people have to kind of like, what's the favorite phrase I say? You're one of those geniuses where the rest of the world have to catch up to you because you have so much stability and understanding of what cooperation looks like, right? You naturally came into this manifestation in our life of understanding from source, from God, the universe, ancestor, how you want to say it. It could be Allah, Buddha, any manifestation of God. You understood what structure looks like. So in you, I can tell if I do your life path, you're going to use that energy of a master builder to come up with systems of understanding in terms of love, because you understand what the structure of love should feels like and look like. But oftentimes by having this understanding, because master numbers are perfection, you may project too much where men be intimidated by you because you too have too much 4 energy. So it's the other way around from you. See, people who used to run to Teresa, they run away from you in a sense that because you got your ish together, right? You come off intimidating, right?
Yes.
You make a lot of money more than the men you met in your life, girl. I'm sorry.
Hashe.
Hashe. I don't want to go too much because look. Spirit gave me the rated R version, but we're gonna talk about it after line. We're gonna offline because you
Okay.
We got to talk about that. We got to balance that energy because you're too much in your masculine right now.
Yes.
And that's all. There's nothing wrong with that. You just got to find balance and a lot of like, and it's honestly easy to do what you call it, like spiritual baths, just shower and meditate and clarify what you want. Because, life and death is in the tongue and you are strong. Oh, wow. I don't want to say this online, but I'll say it. Just be mindful how you speak things because you do have the gift of tongue. You speak things into existence, but clarify what you want. Okay. Anyone else?
Right. So that was Phyllis. So we have Lawrence up next. And Lawrence, if you want to share your date of birth.
4/12/57.
Okay, 4/12. Okay, and then that was perspective. Wow, there's a lot of 4s. So again, one thing that's unique about you is that even though you came into this world with a 4 energy, like building stability, but you the artist, you are the thinker. Sometimes you do think a lot because you have that 1 and a 2, which is a 3. So you already came with this primal force of independence. You understood what kind of autonomy, what you want, what you bring in this 2 energy. All knowing is a fancy way of saying that you understand balance, right? Libra energy, you have that too. Libra energy is really like cooperation, balance. You're very charismatic, but because you're very mercurial, because threes are mercurial, the creative mind, the creative child, you have restless nights. And because you're born in 57, you have a lot of like very cultural understanding of what your history is, what you want to do with life. You're very focused on purpose, but you got to be patient. Like you get your answers. Sometimes just ask that question before you go to sleep and write it down, because you do a lot of thinking. Write your things down.
Absolutely.
You can't be going to the grocery store, right? Because I can tell right now, don't get mad, but sometimes you go to the grocery store, you forget what you're going to buy because you have all the lists here. You should just write it down.
Absolutely.
But I don't want to tell the other stuff because Spirit is telling me some other stuff. So we're going to talk about that offline. But give yourself peace of mind. I say, if you do meditate, my thing is people think that it's a thing that you're supposed to be like this. A good strategy that I practice with my fiance, my girlfriend, but also just students. I tell them to get a scented candle. And if you look at a candle, put your favorite song or without the song, stare at the candle, which kind of puts yourself in a theta state, a meditative state, and ease your mind before you go to bed, because that's one of the reasons why you stay up too late, overthinking, because you have to lay rest what your heart says on paper, if that makes sense.
Yes. I wrote this morning on
absolutely
some of the things
and I can go into detail. My information on the other slide, I can go into detail. I do free resources. You can text me WhatsApp. I don't like keeping information because it's not for me, it's for all of us. So I can help you understand meditation, because you did try to do meditation, but people complicated for you. I'm just going to teach you the basic way to make it comfortable for you. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
Anytime.
Thank you.
All right. All right. And so next up we have Michelle. Michelle.
Grand Rising family.
Hey, how you doing, Michelle?
I am so grateful this morning and so appreciative of what you're bringing to us in this space. God bless you.
Thank you.
My birthday is May 4th, 1963.
Okay, so same thing. You're born in the same year as my mom, but this it's that term. You know how that term they said, "Oh, Papa was a Rolling Stone," because you don't like restriction. You have a 5 energy. 5 is dynamic force. 5 means you get a lot of restlessness. So I'm not going to focus on the early part. You said 423.
No, 5-4-63.
5-4-63. So in your early years, I can tell that you either moved a lot or there's a lot of energy around your environment that did a lot of sporadic, fun-loving energy, because freedom was always exposed, because we always choose families to kind of do 2 things. When I've learned from my mentor, she said that when we manifest in this body, when we pick a certain level of consciousness and vibration, from a numerology standpoint, because you're born on 523, you wanted to
No, I'm sorry, not 523, 5-4-63.
Oh, even with 5-4-63. So being born in May, coming into a family of wanting freedom restriction in your past life, I could tell you didn't really have enough freedom of expression. So even in your early years, I can tell that you had a lot of movement. And then you're also born a 4 number. So because you're born with this idea of spontaneity, most men bore you if they don't like to get up and go somewhere. You like to travel, you like to do your thing, but also with stability is that some men have this predisposition of how you should live, but you've already been exposed to what possibility is. By coming into this world on 5 being 4, you are a master of building, right? You want stability, which sometimes you battle with that. Sometimes you want to be in your house. You may come off as an introvert. Sometimes you're extroverted. But oftentimes, right, they like that funness because your house, you have this thing with feng shui. You're a good host. When people come over, they want to come to your house, girl. They want to come to your house, but at the same time,
and they want to stay.
Because one thing I give you credit, that you're the first person I felt over the Zoom call. You know how to balance both your masculine and feminine. This is why men don't know how to leave you alone, because you know how to exert your femininity where you're affectionate, but also you know how to give them advice and be building, because you like to build with men. You like to give advice. You don't want a relationship that's truly transactional. You want something that's reciprocated. And this is what you do. You want that. But again, like I mentioned earlier, we have to clarify, because the values of what you thought a relationship was, you only based that, but your family have shown you. But you came to your own revelation as you got older, especially when you was 21. You started to understand what you want, but you got to maintain those non-negotiables. Because you're a builder. You like stability. Don't let no one make you uncomfortable. And it's okay. If that man don't have a house, okay. Brother, there's programs called the NACA program. You could get that, there's a FHA. all I'm saying is with you, people love your loving nature, but at the same time, you got your life put together from a material side. Emotionally, you're still working on it because you're still in that dominant left brain energy, although you're very loving, because 4 energy is very mercurial. You do not dip into your intuitive, like you are the person we could call, right? Your girlfriends like to call you with their drama, but do you also take too much in? Which you also got to create personal boundaries. We got to talk that offline because your boundaries have been crossed.
Absolutely. And that is exactly what I'm working on,
Yes, I
creating
can see it. I don't
boundaries
want to.
and
I don't want to tell the
balances.
other version. Understand?
Listen,
Like
it's okay. This is
the
all
grown-up version, you
family.
have to be
Tell it.
offline.
Tell
Like
it.
there's
Okay, I
a lot. There's a
appreciate it.
lot of energy I'm feeling. I got to tell offline, but just be honest and be okay that that's your non-negotiable, sister.
Thank you. Thank you so
Absolutely.
much.
All right.
Everything
Next
is
up,
on point.
Shay.
And this is one aspect. I do different forms of divination, but this is one aspect.
So it's clear, brother,
Appreciate
that there's going to be, different parts and that you will be a regular here on Woo.
Absolutely. If I could give this 7 o'clock
I
space,
share.
absolutely, I
Yeah,
should.
absolutely. Absolutely. So Mama Z is on next. Let's see what her birthday numbers are in the chat.
Mama Z, who's Mama Z?
Greetings, yes. June 19th, 1960.
June 19, 1960. So you're 619. So, that's actually a good thing because I think that's not Malcolm X's birthday is May 19th. All right. So because you come, and ironically Juneteenth. So just the aspect, if you look at the numerology chart, the 1, and I want to kind of specify, I'm going to kind of really synthesize this. 1 is all about independence, ladies and gents. That's that leadership energy. That's that energy that said, this is my autonomy. This is who my individuality is. You have a 9. 9 is more about the caretaker, endings, beginnings. But when you do 1 + 9, you have to simplify it in numerology. So it reduced to a 10, which is 1. So although you come in both aspects, I can tell you have a lot of fire energy in your natal chart, because even from a numerological standpoint, you're already too assertive. And sometimes it's like a vitality thing. That's crazy. Why a lot of sex coming up. All right. Anyway, you at this stage, because I don't want to go too much in detail. I don't want to overread because a lot of energy. But because you're in the 60s, and I'm pretty sure you've been married before, and your values is different because you meet a lot of young men, but your values, you're born in 60. My mom is 63. You know what a gentleman look like. And because you've been exposed to what harmony is, because the 1960, born and starting off with the 6 is about community, building, caretaking. You saw a lot of feminine caretaking. Even your family, the males in your family was actually dope. And some understood what affection is, but some didn't. But you also was really big on leaving, right? Because at that time in the 60s, you were able to get married, I think 17 or 18, but you was quick to live on your own because you're naturally independent. You don't want someone to tell you to wait. You want someone to tell you to plan and you can execute on your own because you're naturally a leader. But sometimes you lead too much and you don't let the man lead with you. It's called cooperation. The man is there to compliment you, not to take anything from you. So sometimes you have to keep your energy in balance and meditate more and drink more water, because oftentimes you stay too much in your cycle. And that happens because we all got to go to therapy. I don't want to go too much into it based on privacy and confidentiality. But I hope that kind of shed light on your dominant disposition. But girl, you are fire. You are naturally going to make things happen. And just because you're born in 1960, you still got a lot of youth in you. So don't let no one tell you that you can't throw that thing back. But other than that, you have a lot of vitality. Just claim it. Age is just an expiration date. Love don't have an expiration date.
Sure. Thank you.
All right. So that completed in terms of the numerology entry point to reading. So at this point, Brother Travis, we can bring some closure, and you can share some closing words before we move on to your contacts.
So I think I shared my flyer because I don't really do this publicly because I believe that the profession that I'm really pushing forward. Again, I'm a licensed New York City teacher, currently a high school dean at a high school currently. I'm actually going to go full-fledged in my business after my son's birthday. He's born on 9/11. But I initially started Travis-Sinclair Consulting. Ironically, I said it twice, but I realized when I did the articles of intent with New York State, I created the company on my son's birthday in 2019. So I launched it initially, and then we all know what happened in 2020 in March. I was stuck in an airport actually in Atlanta because I was working for a company called Max Scholar. I'm also licensed in this Alton Gillingham literacy practice, teaching students who have dyslexia, students who are second language learners. I have an ability to teach phonics and literacy to boost their reading capacity within 90 days. So I started my company in 2019, 2020, put a pause, but I didn't give up. And based on the recommendation and mentorship, like with my mentor, Shawnee, she helped me understand psychodrama on that pathway. She also helped me understand like vulnerability is a form of healing. So that's when I got my certification in hypnotherapy. So I do 2 different facings, intuitive or counseling. I cannot give diagnosis like my professor, Dr. Cyril say, because I don't have my 3,000 hours. I'm in grad school to be a licensed therapist. So I will be having clients in 2025, but I can teach the education and skill set, right? So I can teach what strategies to help with stress management, trauma, hypnotherapy through numerology. But I also do consulting for schools. I tackle trauma and crisis in urban development. I do publish weekly newsletters on LinkedIn every week on Wednesdays at 12 o'clock. I'm really more facing on LinkedIn, but family, if anyone knows, there's a new app called Threads by Instagram. That's a great place to kind of interface with me on a more interpersonal level because it's very conversational. It's like Twitter, but it's better than Twitter. It's really a tailored, intimate spot on the app you can use. But I do offer services, but I'm only here to kind of like spread the message of what mental health awareness is. I had my own battles because no one communicated what healing should look like. So for me, this is still foreign to me because I'm the first in the family, second to my aunt, who also is a licensed mental health clinician. I give her much credit because she exposed me a lot. My aunt Cheryl Camp. She helped me understand the onset of the genogram. She's the first person that told me. And then I met Shawnee when she did the symposium at Department of Mental Health and Hygiene. I was a school mental health consulting for under Mayor de Blasio Thrive. And I was trained to understand what crisis development is. So in summary, I do coaching, public speaking. I do workshops. I'm trying to develop a system starting in September to kind of do weekly workshops, not with only with Shawnee's establishment and organization, but also on my own, if anyone's interested. But again, I'm just a young kid, well, not young kid, young guy from the South Bronx, I'm only 35. I just want to kind of tackle mental health from a more holistic standpoint. And I'm willing to be vulnerable and transparent through my journey and tell people how I've done it. Because one thing with influencers, they give you all this information on TikTok and influence young kids, but they don't teach you the 5 W's, right? They teach the 5 W's, the who, what, when, where, why. I teach the how. So my focus as a brand, I teach the how. Like my professor said, and shout out again, Dr. Cyril and Dr. Mancuso, us licensed mental health clinician therapists are there to give skills, not advice. I don't teach codependency. I teach autonomy. I teach independence. I teach healing. So if you want to walk with this journey, you can reach me on social media. I'm going to be back next Sunday, hopefully, because my goal is to do this every Sunday, hopefully, because I have start my second portion of grad school on the 11th. But my goal is to kind of like do this all the time because I'm officially launching my business on my own. I'm not going to say too much because I know my school's watching, but I'm going to do what's needed, serve the students until I'm ready to leave. I have an at-will contract. But again, this is who I am. I'm mindful how I show up in spaces. I give credit to, again, my mentor, Misha Porter, because she was the one that said, look, you need to basically get support. Because again, I talked about trauma, I talked about subconscious mind. I was teaching at the Revy High School I graduated with, Bronx School for Law, Government, and Justice. So Misha Porter was my principal when I was a kid, 9th grade, and she was also the person that hired me. I started teaching at 20, and now I'm 35. So 15 years of experience. I just want to unpack, teach, have dialogue. I'm not perfect. I'm the first in my family that took therapy serious. I'm not saying no one did, but I got tired of misrepresenting what my ancestors kind of like built. And for those who are teaching and teach social studies, it's kind of like a contradiction when you're in front of a classroom telling students this is what we are, what we represented, and how you're supposed to take practical steps. And I don't take those practical steps. So I've done the work. I'm still doing the work. My therapist is very expensive. Shout out to Cigna. But other than that, I'm still unpacking trauma that I witnessed. I didn't choose this life, although I chose this family. But as a young kid, experiencing death year after year, and I'm still here, I'm just trying to be a person that represents an idea, a possibility. I'm from the South Bronx. I love the Bronx. Shout out to my guys. And I'm just a person that just a manifestation what my mom pushed out. And shout out to Sharon Linnell Camp. Mommy, I love you. Your birthday's coming up. And I'm complete.
All right. Ashe. So as you see here, this is all of the contact information for Brother Travis. Get with him on Facebook at Travis-Sinclair Camp. The Instagram at soapbox_orator7. Right. And then LinkedIn, Travis-Sinclair-Camp. Right. And
Absolutely.
then
and thank you. And I just want to say, and shout out to the men. Like, I understand us men don't get credit. Us men, we're still trying to figure this out, young ladies and ladies in general. We respect your energy. We respect what we need to do to protect you. Just be patient with us, right? We're still unpacking trauma. We're being told to protect, to heal, to be this manifestation of what masculinity is, but no one taught us the how. So what if there's a young man that's trying to teach the how? That's what I'm here for. I believe in brotherhood. I believe in community. And I just want to help our people heal, because I understand what my matriarch did for me, what they left for me, and I can't be a walking contradiction. To understand 400 years of history and people don't want to address what that is, my goal is to challenge every norm, every Western philosophy, what psychology is. Because how can you deem someone with a diagnosis that's not the representation of our cultural appropriation, which is a different workshop.
Okay. All right, family. So as we know, we spread the love through our love offerings and donations, right? We're looking at over 900 days. And in order to be able to sustain and maintain and keep this moving, your donations are valuable and appreciated. So our Zelle Quick Pay is Soul Leadership Development at gmail.com, Cash App, $ Spirit of a Woman, right? And today's code 901TSC, all right? My own natural energy yields. So we deal with currency, and we would love for you to be able to make a healthy donation, the richest nation on the planet and the richest city of generosity. Thank you. All right. Love offerings and donations on a monthly automated, so you have $25 a month. You can donate your 50, 75, or anything that you can contribute in order to continue to sustain and build the Woo experience, right? And who we have coming up can join us tomorrow on the 31st, Property Maintenance and Management Fundamentals Course Series, facilitated by Anne-Marie Bola, right? So come on and join us tomorrow, bright and early, 7 o'clock, for this powerful topic. And then on Tuesday, we have our sister Yogisha, who's a regular, and TBD is her title for tomorrow. Tuesday.
Oh no, it's to be determined. We don't know yet.
Oh, I thought that was the name of the thing.
No, we gotta find Stacy and get her title.
Got you. All right. So join us Monday and Tuesday. That's on the list. And then, we would welcome all of our newcomers, right, that are here visiting for the first time. We welcome you. You came on a very powerful day, and we're grateful for your presence. You're a part of this family now. We are all committed to this idea of elevation, ascension, transformation, and optimal health, spiritually, mentally, emotionally, and physically. All right, so please, you're new, continue to come back, invite some friends, right? And here is our schedule that happens on Sundays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays. There's a Zoom live workshops, and Monday and Wednesdays from 7 to 7:30, right? And so those are our time schedules all throughout the week. Again, Sunday, Tuesdays, and Thursdays from 7 to 8:30, and Mondays and Wednesdays from 7 to 7:30. Got just a Zoom live workshop, stream live on Facebook, and you can receive texts as well. The text alerts, you can just Woo Nation to 74121. And definitely, as we move and navigate through the world with this powerful woo medicine, you know, having our own swag and being able to engage will only have a ripple effect, right? And so just when you have an opportunity, go to bit.ly, that woo swag, get your t-shirt, get your journal, you know, get your candles, your mugs, so that you are always resonating with this powerful medicine known as Wake Up Everybody. Right. And so here's how you can stay in touch and keep the hands on the Woo Pulse. You know, register bit.ly/Wake Up Movement. As you know, we have our Facebook page, bit.ly Woo Community Private, and bit.ly/Woo Nation. And you can also get with us on the gram at Wake Up Everybody Virtual. Check out our YouTube station. And if you have any questions or an interest to be a facilitator, an administrator, you know, or following up with anyone that you've heard, please reach out to us at info.wakeupseries@gmail. And at this time, we would like to come off mute and shower our brother Travis with love and gratitude for his amazing presentation today, his amazing engagement. We're grateful for his gifts. We're grateful for his divine calling and the courage to embrace it. Okay, so let's come off.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you so
Thank you.
much,
Take
brother.
down the slide so we can see each other.
Peace and blessings.
Thank you.
Blessings to you.
Yeah, take down the slides there.
Take down the slide, beloved. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, brother
Thank
Travis.
you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you, brother Travis.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
Looking forward to meeting with you.
Love
Peace and
my whole
blessings, brother
family.
Travis. Thank you so
Thank you,
much.
family.
Thank you, family. Thank you for all the love. And thank you, brothers, for showing up. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Love you.
Thank you.
Love you.
Appreciate y'all.
Thank you.
Love y'all.
Thanks.
Love y'all, admin team. Y'all the bomb. Y'all the dope.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Thank you.